We all know that modern engineering has given us skyscrapers, bridges that span miles and tunnels beneath oceans. But what if I told you that thousands of years ago, ancient civilizations built structures so precise, so impossibly complex, that even with today's technology we struggle to understand how they did it? Doesn't make sense, does it? People with no electricity, no computers, no cranes, creating monuments that align perfectly with the stars. Stones cut so precisely, a razor blade can't fit between them. And engineering solutions we're only beginning to comprehend. Yet these structures stand, silent witnesses to knowledge we've lost. Today, we're uncovering 5 ancient engineering feats that defy modern understanding, and the impossible techniques that built them. Sacsayhuaman, the fortress of impossible stones. High in the Peruvian Andes overlooking the ancient city of Cusco stands Sacsayhuaman, a massive stone fortress built by the Inca Empire, or so we're told. The Inca claimed they found the structure already there, built by gods or a civilization that came before them. And when you see it up close, you understand why. Sacsayhuaman is constructed from megalithic stones, some weighing over 200 tons. These aren't rectangular blocks. They're irregular, each one a different shape, carved and fitted together with such precision that you can't slide a piece of paper between them. No mortar, no gaps, just stone pressing against stone, held in place by gravity and engineering genius. The largest stone in the complex weighs approximately 440,000 pounds. To put that in perspective, that's the weight of nearly 200 cars. How was it moved? How was it lifted into place? And most baffling of all, how was it carved to fit so perfectly with its neighbors? Modern engineers have tried to replicate the technique. In the 1990s, a team attempted to move a 12-ton stone using the methods they believed the Inca employed. Wooden rollers, ropes, and hundreds of people pulling in unison. It took 3 months to move the stone just a few hundred feet. And that was a stone less than 1/20th the size of the largest blocks at Sacsayhuaman. But the mystery goes deeper. When archaeologists examined the stones under magnification, they found something extraordinary. The edges of the stones appear to have been melted, as if exposed to intense heat. The surfaces show signs of vitrification, a process where rock is heated to temperatures exceeding 1800 degrees Fahrenheit, turning it into a glass-like substance. But the Inca had no technology capable of generating such heat. Some researchers have proposed that the stones were softened using plant extracts, natural acids that could dissolve rock enough to mold it into shape. Local legends speak of a plant that could turn stone soft like clay, allowing builders to shape it by hand. But no such plant has ever been found. And even if it existed, it doesn't explain how stones weighing hundreds of tons were transported from quarries over 20 miles away. The precision of the stonework is equally baffling. Engineers who've studied Sacsayhuaman have noted that the angles and planes of each stone are so exact that they must have been measured using advanced tools. Yet the Inca had no known surveying instruments, no levels, no theodolites. One theory suggests they used water as a level, filling troughs to ensure flat surfaces. But this doesn't account for the complex three-dimensional angles present in the walls. Another mystery is the speed of construction. According to Inca oral tradition, Sacsayhuaman was built in a single generation. That means thousands of stones, each requiring precise carving and placement, were completed in just 20 to 30 years. Modern construction projects using cranes, cutting tools, and computer modeling take longer to build far simpler structures. In 1950, an earthquake struck Cusco, destroying much of the colonial Spanish architecture. But Sacsayhuaman remained intact. The stones didn't shift. They didn't crack. The engineering was so perfect that even violent seismic activity couldn't disturb it. How did the Inca, or whoever built Sacsayhuaman, achieve this? And why have we lost the knowledge to do the same? The fortress stands as a monument to a level of engineering we still don't fully understand. Göbekli Tepe, the temple older than civilization. In southeastern Turkey, on a barren hilltop, lies a structure that shouldn't exist. Göbekli Tepe is a massive stone temple complex, built over 11,000 years ago, making it older than Stonehenge by 6,000 years, and older than the Egyptian pyramids by 7,000 years. But here's the problem. It was built before humans had agriculture, before they had settled communities, before they even had pottery. In 1994, German archaeologist Klaus Schmidt began excavating the site. What he found defied everything we thought we knew about prehistoric humans. Göbekli Tepe consists of massive T-shaped limestone pillars, some standing over 18 feet tall and weighing up to 20 tons. The pillars are arranged in circular formations, with intricate carvings of animals, scorpions, foxes, lions, and birds covering their surfaces. The level of detail is extraordinary. These weren't crude scratchings. They were sophisticated sculptures, created with tools and techniques that shouldn't have existed. The mystery begins with the question of labor. Traditional archaeology teaches us that monumental construction requires a stable, agricultural society. You need surplus food to feed workers, social organization to coordinate labor, and a reason, religious or political, to invest such effort on. But the people who built Göbekli Tepe were hunter-gatherers. They had no cities, no farms, no centralized government. So how did they organize the manpower to quarry, transport, and erect stones weighing 20 tons? Some researchers estimate that building Göbekli Tepe would have required 500 people working continuously for decades. But how did they feed themselves? Where did they live? And why did they prioritize building a temple over securing food and shelter? Then there's the precision of the construction. The pillars are perfectly aligned, with their flat surfaces oriented to specific compass directions. Recent surveys have shown that the site incorporates sophisticated astronomical alignments, with certain structures pointing toward the rising sun on the summer solstice. This suggests an advanced understanding of celestial mechanics, something we don't associate with Stone Age hunter-gatherers. The carvings themselves raise more questions. Many of the animals depicted don't live in the region today. Lions, leopards, and wild cattle are shown in great detail, suggesting the climate and environment were different when the temple was built. But the carvings also show something strange. Some of the figures are abstract, geometric patterns that don't represent anything in the natural world. What do they mean? Were they symbolic? Astronomical? Or do they represent knowledge we can't interpret? And then, around 8,000 before Christ, something even stranger happened. Göbekli Tepe was deliberately buried, not destroyed, not abandoned, buried. Someone filled the entire site with dirt, carefully covering the pillars, preserving them for millennia. Why? What would compel a society to bury the most important structure they had ever built? Some archaeologists believe a climate shift forced the people to leave. Others think a new religion replaced the old one, and the temple was buried to prevent its desecration. But no one knows for sure. Göbekli Tepe rewrites human history. It suggests that organized religion, monumental architecture, and advanced engineering existed long before we thought possible. And it raises the unsettling question: what else did ancient humans achieve that we've forgotten? The Antikythera mechanism, the 2,000-year-old computer. In 1901, sponge divers exploring a shipwreck off the coast of the Greek island of Antikythera discovered a corroded lump of bronze and wood. At first, they thought it was a rock, but when archaeologists examined it, they realized it was a machine, an ancient device with gears, dials, and inscriptions. It was the Antikythera mechanism, and it shouldn't exist. The device dates to around 100 before Christ, making it over 2,000 years old. When researchers carefully cleaned and studied it, they found something extraordinary. It was an analog computer, designed to calculate and predict astronomical events. The mechanism contained at least 30 bronze gears, precisely cut and interlocking, that could model the movements of the sun, moon, and planets with astonishing accuracy. It could predict eclipses, track the phases of the moon, and even account for the irregular orbit of the moon, a detail that requires understanding of complex mathematics. The problem is, nothing like this should have existed in ancient Greece. The level of engineering required to build the Antikythera mechanism is comparable to 18th century clockwork. The gears are cut with a precision that suggests the use of advanced tools, possibly even a lathe. But ancient Greeks didn't have such tools, at least, not according to historical records. The device also demonstrates knowledge of astronomy that historians didn't think existed in that era. The Greeks knew the Earth orbited the Sun, they understood planetary motion, and they could predict celestial events with mathematical precision. But this knowledge was thought to have been lost during the fall of Rome and not rediscovered until the Renaissance. Yet here was a machine, built centuries before Rome fell, that proved otherwise. For decades, scientists tried to understand how it worked. X-rays revealed internal gears and inscriptions too faded to read. In 2006, advanced imaging technology finally allowed researchers to reconstruct the device's operation. They found that it was even more complex than initially believed, capable of modeling the orbits of all 5 known planets: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Who built it, and why? The most likely theory is that it was created by Greek engineers in Rhodes, possibly by followers of the mathematician and astronomer Hipparchus, but no other devices like it have ever been found. No blueprints, no references in ancient texts. It's as if the Antikythera mechanism was a singular achievement, a glimpse of technology that existed and then vanished. Some researchers believe there were others like it, lost to time and corrosion. If one survived 2,000 years underwater, how many didn't? And what else did ancient engineers create that we've never found? The Antikythera mechanism is proof that ancient civilizations were far more advanced than we give them credit for. It's a reminder that history is not a straight line of progress. Knowledge can be lost. And sometimes, the past is more sophisticated than we imagined. Derinkuyu, the underground city for 20,000 people. In 1963, a man in the Cappadocia region of Turkey was renovating his home when he knocked down a wall and discovered a hidden room. Behind it was a tunnel, and behind that tunnel was another room, and another. He had stumbled upon Derinkuyu, an ancient underground city capable of housing over 20,000 people. Derinkuyu extends 280 feet underground, with multiple levels connected by narrow staircases and tunnels. It contains living quarters, kitchens, storage rooms, chapels, and even a winery. There are ventilation shafts, some stretching all the way to the surface, ensuring fresh air reached the deepest levels. And there are massive stone doors, circular wheels weighing over 1,000 pounds, that could be rolled into place to seal off sections of the city. The engineering required to build Derinkuyu is staggering. The entire city was carved from soft volcanic rock, using only hand tools. No machinery, no explosives, just chisels and hammers. Yet, the precision is remarkable. The ventilation system is so well designed that air flows naturally through the entire complex, preventing carbon dioxide buildup. The stone doors are perfectly balanced, allowing them to be moved with minimal effort, and the layout is organized with specific areas designated for different purposes. Who built it, and why? The most common theory is that Derinkuyu was constructed by early Christians fleeing persecution. The region was under threat from Roman and later Arab invasions, and underground cities provided a safe refuge. But carbon dating suggests parts of Derinkuyu are much older, possibly dating back to the Hittite Empire around 1400 before Christ. If that's true, then the city is over 3,000 years old, built by a civilization that had no reason to hide underground. And Derinkuyu isn't alone. Over 200 underground cities have been discovered in Cappadocia, many of them interconnected by tunnels stretching for miles. The entire region is honeycombed with subterranean structures, some still unexplored. Why would anyone invest such enormous effort to live underground? Some researchers suggest it was for protection, not from human enemies, but from something else. Ancient texts from the region speak of great calamities, firestorms that rained from the sky, and catastrophic events that forced people to seek shelter beneath the earth. Could Derinkuyu have been built as a refuge from natural disasters? Volcanic eruptions? Meteor strikes? Or something even more mysterious? The ventilation system raises another question. The shafts are far more extensive than needed for a refuge. They extend deep into the earth, far below the lowest inhabited levels. Why? Some researchers believe the shafts were designed to access underground water sources. Others think they served a purpose we don't yet understand. Standing inside Derinkuyu today, walking through its tunnels and rooms, you can't help but feel the weight of the stone above and the silence of thousands of years. This was a city built to survive the end of the world. And it worked. The Longyao Caves, the carved mountains of China. In 1992, a local villager in Longyao County, China, decided to drain a series of ponds that had existed for as long as anyone could remember. What he found beneath the water was impossible. The ponds weren't natural. They were the flooded entrances to a massive underground complex, a series of man-made caverns carved directly into solid sandstone. The Longyao Caves, as they came to be known, consist of at least 24 caverns, each one enormous, with vaulted ceilings rising over 100 feet high. The walls are covered in intricate carvings, patterns of lines and symbols that seem to follow no known design. And the entire complex, spanning over 30,000 square meters, was carved by hand. But here's the mystery. There's no record of the Longyao Caves in any historical document. No mention in Chinese texts, no legends, no oral traditions. It's as if an entire civilization built this underground city and then erased themselves from history. The scale of the project is staggering. Archaeologists estimate that carving the caves would have required removing over 1 million cubic meters of rock. If 1,000 workers labored day and night, it would have taken them decades to complete. But where did the rock go? There's no debris, no massive piles of sandstone near the site. It's as if the stone simply vanished. The precision of the carving is equally baffling. The walls are smooth, almost polished, with parallel chisel marks that suggest the use of advanced tools. The ceilings are perfectly level, and the pillars supporting them are evenly spaced. Engineers who've studied the site say the construction demonstrates an understanding of load-bearing architecture that shouldn't have existed in ancient China. Then there are the carvings. The patterns on the walls are uniform, repeating across multiple caverns as if following a master design. Some researchers believe they're decorative. Others think they're symbolic, representing religious or astronomical concepts. But no one has been able to decipher them. One of the most disturbing aspects of the Longyao Caves is the complete absence of artifacts. No pottery, no tools, no human remains. It's as if whoever built the caves deliberately removed all evidence of their presence before leaving. Why? And where did they go? Some theories suggest the caves were built as a refuge, similar to Derinkuyu, a place to hide during times of war or disaster. Others believe they were tombs, grand burial chambers for an ancient emperor. But neither theory explains the lack of artifacts or historical records. In 2002, a team of geologists conducted a structural analysis of the caves. They found that the angles and dimensions were so precise that modern construction techniques would be required to replicate them. One engineer commented, "If we tried to build this today, we'd use computer-aided design and laser-guided cutting tools. They did it with hammers and chisels." The Longyao Caves remain one of China's greatest archaeological mysteries, and the more we study them, the less we understand. These 5 ancient engineering feats, Sacsayhuaman, Göbekli Tepe, the Antikythera mechanism, Derinkuyu, and the Longyao Caves, are only a fraction of what our ancestors achieved. They built structures we can't replicate, used techniques we don't understand, and possessed knowledge we've lost. How did they do it, and why have we forgotten? If you're fascinated by ancient engineering and lost technology, subscribe to see more impossible structures from the ancient world. Let us know in the comments which feat amazed you most. And remember, the past was not primitive. It was extraordinary.